Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is, it's a Thursday. It is the 18th day of May. It's International Museum Day. We haven't been to a museum in a while.
It has been a long time.
We should go do that. They got all kinds of cool old stuff in those museums, and some have really cool art as well. National Cheese Souffle Day. It has been a long time since we've had cheese.
I don't know that I've ever had a souffle.
Okay, that's why it's been so long. It's also National No Dirty Dishes Day. You know what? We're pretty good at lately not having dirty dishes stacked up. National Visit Your Relatives Day. So go see somebody that you related to. National HIV Vaccine Awareness Day today as well. All of those things happening on this Thursday. And I have a Dear John letter today from my boyfriend, maybe trying to get to my money. So that's not necessarily a great way to have things start. They've been dating for 8 months. And if you want, we'll chat all about it. But you can also chime in at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
What a year. With prices on everything going up, it's more important than ever to have a better credit card. Some people use a credit card that's not a very good one. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. When you work remotely, where are you when you actually do the work? For a third of us, the answer is in bed. Really?
Oh.
A survey of 2,000 people who work mainly or entirely remotely found that 35% of them spend an average of an hour a day working from bed. They say it's not all jammies and comforters, though. 63% of respondents said they work primarily from a dedicated home office that is in stark contrast to a similar poll conducted before the pandemic, when remote workers reported that were most likely to do their off-site work from a hotel, a friend or a family member's home, or a coffee shop. What are the biggest perks of being able to work away from the office? According to the survey, being able to dress comfortably is number one. 57% said that. Having no commutes, 54% said. And working on your own schedule, 53%. So wait a minute. You're telling me wearing something comfortable was more important than not having a commute?
Oh.
To me, the commute, I mean, comfortable stuff is good, but I don't know. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that hypnotizing people before surgery is becoming more and more common around the world? A new report from a New Scientist said some patients can fall so deeply under that they're able to undergo major operations with no anesthesia.
Holy cow.
And still feel no pain. Some doctors say that they're also using the technique more widely alongside drugs, and report that hypnosis helps relieve a patient's anxiety during the procedure where people remain awake, such as a biopsy. And they say this can actually cut the amount of medication required.
That would be great, because that would be the thing that scares me the most about having a surgery is how I would feel afterwards waking up from the anesthesia.
And there are some people who have woken up in the middle of a procedure when the anesthesia when they didn't get the amount right. And that's something that I would fear. So I don't know.
I would be definitely willing to try that.
I'll try to hypnotize you later and see
Hopefully
what happens.
I don't have to have surgery, but...
All right, we don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Jeremy Piven says Mark Wahlberg is the key to making having Entourage make a comeback. Wahlberg went on record in supporting an Entourage reboot, but he hasn't committed to starring in the potential series. So they're saying that maybe. I
I
don't know.
really
maybe.
like Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, and I like him, and I like Mark Wahlberg. I think that would be really cool. Kelly Clarkson Show is making a major move for next season. The daytime talk show hosted by The Voice coach is officially relocating to New York City this fall. So that's kind of cool. American Film Institute has confirmed that the 49th annual AFI Life Achievement Award, a tribute to Nicole Kidman, is being postponed due to the writer's strike. It was scheduled for June 10th. I don't know that they've got a new date. And Mark Zuckerberg has been putting his martial arts training to good use. I just wanted to read this. I just think that sounds like a really fun story. The Facebook founder won gold and silver medals at a local jiu-jitsu tournament in Northern California, his first time competing. He's 38. He was competing against 8-year-olds.
That's what I was just going to ask.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I literally was going to say that.
I honestly have no idea. I just thought it was a fun story. You can read it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If it's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring in your current phone. iPhones and Samsung phones both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. The world can feel pretty rotten sometimes, but new findings reveal that a small act of kindness occurs about every 2 minutes. Researchers at UCLA, in collaboration with an international team of scientists, found that people all over the world signal others for assistance every couple of minutes. And the vast majority of the time, people respond positively. It was found that individuals complied with the small request 77% of the time, compared to ignoring them only 11% of the time, and rejecting the chance to help somebody 10% of the time. So that's kind of cool. It's good to know. I think most of the time when somebody asks for help, we usually respond in a positive way. There are some times where that probably doesn't happen because of, don't have time, can't, it's, whatever. But for the most part, I think most people like to help other people. And a whole team of doctors successfully performed brain surgery on an infant girl before she was even born.
I love
Coleman
these stories.
And her husband, Derek, of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, learned late in her pregnancy that their baby had a rare and dangerous brain condition known as vein of Galen malformation. When they learned of this clinical trial run by some Boston area hospitals to address this, they said, yeah, we're in. There were serious potential risks for mom and for baby. Surgeons were able to successfully perform the ultrasound-guided procedure. In utero surgery has been used for other conditions, but this was among the first for such a rare and delicate condition. 2 days later, Denver Coleman was born, weighing just over 4 pounds. Doctors say she's doing very well, and there's no sign she'll need any further intervention. Her mom said she's shown us from the very beginning that she's a fighter.
How
she demonstrated
beautiful is that?
That, hey, I want to be here.
Love that.
I love that story, too. It's a great one. I've got that and the other story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
InsuranceChicken.com wants to know, how much are you paying for your insurance? I know it seems like a hassle to switch to a different company, but if you can save a few bucks, it's worth crossing the road to InsuranceChicken.com. We have several of the top insurance companies trying to earn your business. They do that by offering great insurance that is cheap. Okay, enough of the silly chicken puns. It's time to get serious about saving you money on your insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
And it's time right now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John, dear John.
All right, I got a nice letter here, and I've got it posted at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, so you can, if you want to, you can chime in with your advice. But I'm going to ask Heidi's advice, and I'll give my advice. Dear John, my boyfriend of 8 months is a single dad with 3 children, and we usually take turns spending money on each other for dates. However, I've recently started feeling uncomfortable with him bringing his children along and expecting me to pay. And a few times he's asked me to pay for things his kids have bought. I didn't make a big deal out of it at first because it wasn't much. I mean, I do quite well and I can handle $30 or $40. But it's getting more and more frequent. Yesterday, he called and said he wanted to buy a game for his oldest son. I asked him what did it have to do with me, and he told me I'm a little short on money and he needed to borrow $500.
Ooh.
I hesitated, but I agreed. Then he asked for my credit card info so he could pay.
Whoa.
And that's where I draw the line. I told him, just wait for me to get there. And he got mad at me saying, why am I acting like this? I ended up hanging up. Last night, he asked, why didn't I just send him the info so he could pay for the game like we agreed? I told him I don't feel comfortable letting anybody have my personal information, especially when it comes to finances. Then he yelled at me, I'm not just anyone, I'm your partner. Then we had a fight and he left. The last thing he said is, I better have an apology for him and his son the next time we speak. What should I do? Signed,
Leave.
Boyfriend may be trying to get my money.
Run.
So, I don't know exactly what's going on. Here's the thing that I want you to think about for a moment before you pass judgment on all of this. I don't know the situation. You guys have been dating for 8 months. $500 for a game sounds like a lot of money. So I don't know what kind of game this is. And I don't know what his relationship with his ex is like. You know, if his ex is giving the kids all kinds of stuff. I've seen that. I've had friends.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm just saying, I've had friends in situations where, you know, there's a separation and now all of a sudden one side is giving all kinds of prizes and gifts. And every time they, you know, say, hey, I want this or I want that.
Doesn't
and the other
matter.
side feels like they've got no way to compete. If he's in a situation like that, again, I'm not saying that makes it right. What I don't like is that you guys got in an argument about it. And then when he left, he's saying, you better have an apology for me and my son next time we speak. That's not right. That's not right at all.
Why would you have to apologize to the son at all? It has nothing to do with the son. It's and it's her finances.
Yes.
And if she doesn't feel comfortable with that, she had agreed to pay for it. Why does he need her credit card?
Exactly. Now, here's the other thing I would like to have you do. Change the gender roles for a second. Does that change anything?
Not at all.
If it was a guy dating a single mother and the single mother was asking for $500, does that change? Okay, I just want to make sure.
A game is not a necessity. No, it's different if they're saying, look, can I have $50 to buy groceries?
Yeah.
That's a different story. We're talking about a game.
Exactly.
And to respond that way to you when you had already agreed to pay for this game. No.
And here's
run away.
Here's the thing. Well, I'm not at the spot where I'm saying run away, but I do think that what you need to do is have the discussion with him that, hey, because he's on here saying, I'm not just anyone, I'm your partner. I am your partner. We've been dating for 8 months. We're not married. You know, my wife, Heidi over here, we've been married 23 years.
Yeah.
I don't have her bank account information.
What do you mean? We have
But
a
I'm just
joint
saying.
account.
But I don't know what any of that is. If I wanted money,
What are you
I still have to ask her for
talking
it.
about?
I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So
That is absolutely hilarious.
I don't know how any of that works. Why are you laughing at me?
Oh, that's so funny.
But I still think, again, $500, that's a lot of money. That's a big amount of money. And she had already agreed that, you know
she
what,
said
that's
she'd
fine,
pay
we'll
for
do
the
it.
game.
Then he got all huffy about it.
It is a red flag if he got that mad because
Exactly.
you would not give him your credit card.
And I think that is what you need to talk about.
Yep.
And I think if there's anybody that owes anybody an apology, I honestly think it's backwards. I think he owes you an apology, and he needs to say, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry that I made this such a big deal, and I appreciate that, you know, you've been there and helped out. I don't know what the situation is where he's short on money and he's asking you to help. But again, whatever that situation is, I get that all kinds of people are in all kinds of different situations. But I think that you definitely need to have a conversation. And if you would like to chime in with advice, you can do that as well. This letter has been posted all week long at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
What a year. With prices on everything going up, it's more important than ever to have a better credit card. Some people use a credit card that's not a very good one. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The word fizzle dates back to the 1400s when it meant to break wind quietly. That's what fizzle meant. Okay. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Contrary to popular belief, no study has proven that eating chocolate causes acne.
Oh.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 1966, Mercedes invented a car controlled by a joystick, replacing both the steering wheel and the pedals. It could also be driven from the passenger seat. That was in 1966. That would be
Really?
interesting. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Babies sometimes smile not because they're happy, but because they know it makes their parents happy.
Aww.
Yeah. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The CIA headquarters has its own Starbucks, but baristas do not write names on the cups. So they can't put your name on the cup because, it's in the CIA headquarters.
Okay.
There you go. 5 fun facts for you. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. It takes the average person longer to do this on Mondays than any other day of the week. What is it?
Get out of bed.
Yeah, that is the answer. Does it take you longer to get out of bed?
Oh, yes.
Does
you
it
know
really?
that it does. On Mondays, yes.
I'll have to start paying attention.
Yeah.
It doesn't take me, it's no different for me.
Oh.
Every day I get out of bed excited I'm like, thank you, Lord, for another awesome day. I jump my feet into my Crocs. Heidi hates my Crocs.
I do hate the Crocs.
And I start my day. I wear Crocs around the house. All right, Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If it's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring in your current phone. iPhones and Samsung phones both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Thank goodness for the days of having to come up with a password other than password 123. They're coming to an end. Google has begun rolling out support for passkeys. It's an alternative sign-in method that says it's easier to use and more secure alternative to a password. With passkeys, users can access their account the same way they can unlock their phone, with a fingerprint, with a face scan, or with a screen lock PIN. Passkey support has rolled out on Chrome and Android devices back in October, but now the option is available across Google accounts from Gmail to Drive. Apple rolled out their passkey option with the release of iOS 16. I don't know how far ago that was. I think this is weird because I think what happens if something happens? It is hard
What
to
do you mean?
remember.
What happens if something happens?
What happened? Okay, if it's my fingerprint and I need to touch my screen, but my hands are covered in something. I've had that happen where I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not, because my hands are muddy or whatever. I don't know. Just remember a password. That's a lot easier. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Here's some Would You Rathers, Heidi. So you got to answer. Answer
Okay.
quick. Here we go.
All
Would
right,
you rather have whatever you're thinking appear above your head for everyone to see, or have everything you do live stream for anyone to see?
Whatever I'm thinking, because my face pretty much tells
Yeah,
people that
we
already
usually
anyway.
know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Would you rather travel the world for a year on a shoestring budget, or stay in only one country for a year but live in luxury?
I would stay in one country for a year.
Yeah, you would. Would you rather move to a new city or town every week, or never be able to leave the city or town you were born in?
Oh, I hate to move. So, oh man, I wouldn't want to go back to the city.
Would you rather always have a mullet or always have a ponytail?
Always have a ponytail.
Would you rather always have bad gas or always have a dry mouth?
Oh, always have a dry mouth.
Would you rather have a time machine or a teleporter?
A time machine.
Really? I thought you'd say teleporter. And there's only a couple more. If you want to see all of these and play this fun game with your friends, you can see these Would You Rather list in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
InsuranceChicken.com wants to know, how much are you paying for your insurance? I know it seems like a hassle to switch to a different company, but if you can save a few bucks, it's worth crossing the road to InsuranceChicken.com. We have several of the top insurance companies trying to earn your business. They do that by offering great insurance that is cheap. Okay, enough of the silly chicken puns. It's time to get serious about saving you money on your insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Our quote today is from Ozzy Osbourne. He said, I was just going to be silly and mumble some stuff, but I'm not. He said, he said that too.
You should have.
He said, of all the things I've lost, I missed my mind the most.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's not really attributed to him, but that's okay.
But it's, according to him, he's the one that said that. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. I love this headline. Neighbor offers helping hand to a struggling mother after her husband leaves. So this, I think, is really cool. Mallory Mason lives in Canton, Ohio, with 2 children, and her husband recently left her and the kids. That's when her new neighbor, John, noticed they were struggling and worked up the courage to knock on the door and say, hey, do you guys need some help with things? So he helps like cut the grass and things like that. Mallory thanks John, and she said, I'm really glad. So there's like a video that you can see where this happens. Thanks John, and notices that he has tears in his eyes as well. Are you okay, she said. And he said, nope. Mallory posted the security camera video of her conversation with John to TikTok, where it's garnered millions of views. Says, this man broke my heart as he looked at me. He has tears filling his eyes, and I, myself, couldn't help but cry. He blessed us by mowing this lawn. I can't thank him enough. I ran in and made cookies, Paxton painted him a picture. It's so nice that people actually care instead of just talking about the storm that we're living in. My heart is full. We have so many kind people around us, and it makes it a little easier to get through.
Oh,
A couple of days later, she had a chance to meet John's wife, Cheryl. She told me that the reason why he's doing this is because God called it upon him.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
I love it. I love it.
Now, she set up a GoFundMe. She said, I would like to bless this man. And she set up a goal of $1,000, and it almost is there. Just a way for her to say, if there's something kind that we could do back for this guy. But I just think it's really cool that, you know, he felt the need to help, and he decided, I'm going to listen to that voice, and I'm going to go do it. And again, I love that. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.